Welcome to Newslaundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. Newslaundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a Newslaundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to another episode of Hafta. We are recording this from our makeshift studio, which is right now my office. But our studio should hopefully be ready in another 10 days. And then you will hear amazing audio quality Hafta recording. Joining us on the Hafta today, we have two friends who are not from News Laundry. And from News Laundry, there is just Raman and me. Hi, Raman sir.
Hi.
And I'm Abhinandan Sekhri. Our other colleagues who were supposed to join us today are otherwise occupied with some urgent action, including Manisha having to leave for UP tomorrow. So it's just Raman and me here. And joining us on the phone line is Arunabh Saikia from Banaras. Hi, Arunabh.
Hi, Abhinandan. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. You've joined Hafta after long. You used to be, of course, regular. Arunabh, you may know, used to be with News Laundry. Now he is with Scroll, and he has also, in the meantime, worked with Live Mint and Sports Kida. And he is busy covering the UP election right now. Also joining us on the phone is Nishtha Gautam. Hi, Nishtha.
Hi.
You are the Quint's senior editor for opinions, and you're a political commentator. You've been writing on gender politics, strategic affairs for over 15 years. So welcome, Nishtha.
Thank you so much, Abhinandan.
So before we go to our guests, here are the headlines of the day. In a televised address, Mr. Putin, undisputed leader of Russia, has announced attacks. He's called them a special military operation on Ukraine. Many call them an act of war. Blasts have rocked cities across Ukraine. Russia claims that it has destroyed air bases. It is saying that it is demilitarizing the region. Meanwhile, Ukraine has shut airports. It's warned of airspace danger. They also claim to have shot down at least one helicopter. As we are recording this at 4 in the afternoon on Thursday 24th, unconfirmed reports are coming in from various news organizations of Ukraine claiming to have shot down some flying war weaponry of Russia. Then Air India evacuation flights to Ukraine were called back to Delhi after Russia launched the military operations. So a lot of Indians are in a limbo there. Before recording this, at least the Kerala Chief Minister had made some comments about how he's going to work to get, because a lot of students from Kerala apparently happen to be there. Then India's permanent representative at the UN reiterated that more than 20,000 Indian nationals, including students, are located in different parts of Ukraine and its border areas. India believes in rule-based order. Minister of State for External Affairs Meenakshi Lekhi on Ukraine crisis. And like many other countries, India too said that we request all sides to de-escalate.
Are they, I don't know, but are students who have gone to Ukraine, are they medicine students?
There are a lot of medical students, yes. Lots. In fact, I saw a few interviews with medical students there. In fact, funnily enough, till about 2 days ago, they were saying that there is no panic here, including Ukrainian citizens, that, this is all Western panic. But the US was so certain of the attack that they said the attack will come inevitably. In fact, even this morning, when the first few strikes happened, there were students being interviewed on NDTV saying that we are getting calls from our parents who are panicking that war has broken out. We haven't heard anything here. There's no sound. Of course, I think later in the day, they must have heard the sounds because now the traffic jams in Kiev of people trying to flee. Meanwhile, back to elections in India. Voting took place in Uttar Pradesh yesterday. That is the 23rd of February. In phase 4 of the poll, the turnout was 60%. Which apparently is not as good as it was last time. I'm not sure what that means.
It was less.
Then
Which is bad for BJP.
Who knows? Chief Minister Adityanath also launched phase 5 of the campaign and he promised security for cattle and a monthly stipend of 900 rupees per cow. How about that? So basically what people who have no jobs should do is they should just keep a bunch of cows and just claim that stipend.
The people who didn't have any food and who were crying over this price rise and all, he started giving free ration with oil.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is the another bait for people who are suffering, the farmers who are suffering because of the stray cattle. So.
Meanwhile, again in UP elections, Mukhtar Ansari, the dreaded alleged gangster, his son Abbas Ansari is contesting from Mau, Sadar seat, on a Suheldev Bharatiya Samaj Party ticket. In the ongoing assembly election in Manipur, meanwhile, the Prime Minister Modi urged voters to give the BJP a second term in office, and he says this election will determine the next 25 years of Manipur. I'm not sure how. Jairam Ramesh took a dig at Modi over his Manipur rally claims. He says, Jadugar of Jhoot. And the jhoot he's talking about is that apparently Prime Minister Modi claimed that the vaccination drive in Manipur is very successful, whereas according to Jairam Ramesh, he says that it is really low, the vaccination rate in Manipur. In fact, it's way lower than the national average. Then Nawab Malik has been arrested. He is a minister in the Maharashtra state government. The Enforcement Directorate arrested him in connection with the money laundering case against Dawood. And he's been sent to judicial custody. ED custody, not judicial custody. ED has custody of him till March 3. This led to major outrage by Sharad Pawar and Mr. Thackeray, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And they said, we will not ask him to resign because the expectation was because he's being charged with such a crime. And at least till yesterday evening, before Ukraine war took over all headlines, this was a major headline because it appeared that the Aghadi government is going to hit back in a significant way. Now I think they'll wait for the news cycle to get over. See, this is how news cycles make a big difference. Like a lot of people must have been planning to do something today, but because Ukraine has become the news of the day, now they'll hold.
Yes, because everything is going to get lost.
Yep. Then rupees 1,800 crore have been returned to banks from Mallya and Nirav Modi and Choksi, the Supreme Court was told. So,
but it sounds as if they have given it back. No, ED had seized their property, so they sold them off, and
so they've sold it and given it back to them. So those guys are still not giving.
No.
Then the BJP government came under fire for posting a cartoon depicting a group of bearded men wearing skull caps hanging. It was a disgustingly vile cartoon, and it was very close to a similar cartoon that was seen during Nazi Germany's time. The fact that it was tweeted out by the official BJP Twitter handle tells us much about
of Gujarat.
And the BJP, that, earlier you say, yeah, it's misunderstood. They're just some oddballs are doing this. It is policy. I mean, now anyone who can't see it is clearly a bigot. I mean,
now there's a competition who can be more communal than.
Yeah, but I'm saying for the regular supporter, I'm not sure how they can justify this because this is not the fringe anymore. Anyway, that tweet was taken down by Twitter because it violated policy. So that's where we are. The party that is running the government in India, their Gujarat state Twitter handle.
If the similar thing had come out, from an individual or some UAP.
Straight away UAP. Meanwhile, in Tamil Nadu, the DMK, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, swept the urban local body polls. They were held for the first time in 10 years in the state. Chief Minister Stalin described it as a real revolution of Dravidian political ideas. The BJP woman leader Uma Anandan, who had courted controversy over supporting Mahatma Gandhi's assassin Nathuram Godse, has won the Tamil Nadu urban body poll from Ward 134 in West Mambalam. She is the only BJP member who won, the only one seat that they got. So,
we are working on this story. I mean, we haven't got the figure, but apparently BJP was ahead of Anna DMK in 30 seats, 30 wards, municipal wards. That's the claim that the BJP has made. So we are trying to verify it and then analyze that.
But even if, I wouldn't be surprised that's true because without Jayalalitha, AIADMK is nothing. Yeah, it's a spent force.
But the fact that the BJP is making inroads.
Correct. Then 20 people were injured and 50 vehicles burned during the funeral procession in Karnataka. A member of the Bajrang Dal, his name was Harsha. Mourners ransacked shops and BJP MP Tejasvi Surya called Harsha's death a murder that was an act of terror. Meanwhile, Harsha's sister has made a statement which is far more sensible than any politician, and we will discuss it further down in this podcast. The Goa Chief Minister said that Harsha was killed because he supported the hijab ban. 6 people have been arrested so far. This happened in the Shivamogga area. It's a district of Karnataka. Also in Karnataka, petitioner in the hijab case has alleged that her brother was attacked by a mob. Another petitioner said Kannada news channel Asianet Suvarna used hidden cameras in her home to conduct a sting operation. It's just bizarre. In fact, News Minute has a very good article on, how some of the Kannada channels are behaving. It's an important read. Meanwhile, this becomes worse and worse. In Bengaluru, a college asks a Sikh girl to remove her turban. So while Kesh-dhari, turban-dhari Sikhs can serve in the police force in Canada and in US and in UK, in India,
we are stuck.
You have to take off your turban. Brilliant. Then 2 years since the Northeast riots, police say over 2,450 people arrested. I do hope you followed our coverage of the Northeast riots. Basant and Ayush did a very, very good job of covering those riots, and it was extremely disturbing for them because just the amount of bodies they saw, the kind of stories they had to report. It was a tough one. Meanwhile, Dera Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh Ji Insan has got Zad Plus security cover. So believe it or not, your taxpayer money is being used very well. So instead of using it there, what I would recommend is you go on to newslaundry.com and click to pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. If you don't support news is going to be completely dependent on government advertising and large corporations, and there is no way it will serve the purpose that news is supposed to serve to keep a democracy robust. The death of news is the death of democracy, and I am not indulging in hyperbole, trust me. Think it through and you'll realize it is very true. So I think he may be in the zone because in Russia, he is undisputed strongman. Like, there is no opposition to him. It's not like even Modi is not that strong. So there's no insecurity he has domestically. Now, once you've reached that level, what do you aim for next? You aim for something international. That let me do something even grander. I think it's just his vanity. I really don't see any other reason why he would do this.
It's not just that I'm not talking about just the economic designs over Ukraine. Maybe this act of aggression is, he has something else, the larger issues in his mind, or maybe...
I don't think there's any larger issue. I think it's just that he's saying, I'll be the man who if Gorbachev was the man under whom USSR fell apart, I'll be the man who brings it together. I don't think it's got anything other than personal glory and his sense of that my beloved country was destroyed by the West.
This is an act of a mad person.
Truly is.
Akhilesh Yadav, I suppose, has, played this election pretty smart. He's refused to bat on the BJP's pitch. So, as I told you, right, I started reporting in November itself. At that point of time, it seemed like a pretty one-sided election. People said that, there's no opposition on the ground as such, and the free rations and all were offsetting economic anxieties to a large extent. But, so what Akhilesh Yadav seems to have done is essentially just foregrounded economic anxieties. It's come at certain cost. We'll probably speak about it later. I mean, his foregrounded economic anxieties, and he's definitely put up a good. I think it's one of the better opposition fights in recent times in state elections.
So, what do you make of the speeches of the Prime Minister and the Manipur invoking Ukraine and all? I mean, is it we're just running out of issues, so anything goes?
See, I mean, the Prime Minister's again employed a deeply, polarizing rhetoric once again. Little pretense that he has in between elections of being a statesman, comes off in the moment a tough election comes in.
All of you listening in, the Chhota Hafta, do subscribe so you can listen to the entire Hafta. We will see you again next week with the Hafta. Till then, subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the News Laundry podcasts are available on Stitcher, iTunes, and any other podcast platform.
Please subscribe to News Laundry. Help us keep news independent. To catch all our podcasts on news, pop culture, current affairs, and sport, visit newslaundry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoro. Not to brag or anything, but Newslaundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All News Laundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.